If you are a husband or a wife and you are waiting for your husband or your wife to catch up to where you are, we will wrap around you, we will bless you, we will hug you, we will support you, okay? This is a my spouse won't let me buy enough Bitcoin center as well.
If your spouse won't let you buy Bitcoin, Stuart's gonna wrap his legs around you.
Whoa!
And just hold you tight.
Welcome to Sat Chats Rehash, the Bitcoin podcast where we chatting about sats. We have got number 71, Laurel, the boss lady, on deck. Number 72, Tom, where we broke through with the massive government token rebrand. And number 73, Allie, the crypto knight, who's basically on like a crypto Shark Tank on Amazon Prime, in addition to having like been an absolute boss and just making a bunch of money in venture capital. So I'll be your host today, Stuart Bitcoin Maxi, who wears prescription sunglasses to protect you and your loved ones from my Bitcoin laser.
I'm the co-host, your co-host, Chris, founder and CEO of Ithaca Hummus, resident Bitcoin smash buyer when my wife lets me. And I'm the guy who announces the 10 million sats giveaway every time we start a new episode. So, announcement, 10 million sats, giving them away. All you have to do is subscribe to our channel on YouTube to be entered to win.
So who do we got right here? We got number 71, Laurel. Best bet I've ever made. Episode title, Should I Put Even More into Bitcoin? And hers is the best performing episode of the three. She's at 260 views, and Tom and Allie are in the 60 to 70 range. So is that a really intriguing question for the Bitcoiner audience that we're currently serving?
I mean, I think the way that, people look at our show, they know it probably that it's a Bitcoin show.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got in the thumbnail, the best bet I've ever made.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, tell me about that.
Yes.
If this is your best bet and I'm not betting on it, I need to know about that so I'm not missing out.
And quite frankly, I would click on a thumbnail with a girl in it faster than I would click on a thumbnail with a dude in it. That's just kind of how it works.
Yeah. I mean, and yeah. Yeah, okay. And then the question is, as far as YouTube goes, for all the YouTube experts out there, if that's the thumbnail title, and then we get into the episode and she's not talking about the best bet she's ever made, people are like, oh, that's not what this is about. And then they bounce.
Let's check the hook.
Let's check the hook.
No. So I have a sadish story. I was all in. And then on the agency side, we had a little dip in cash flow and I sold my early Bitcoin. So then ended up having to buy back in at a higher price point. And that's when he saw where I had started and where it was at that point in time. And he was like, okay, I think it's proven itself enough. I'm in on this now.
I think that's decent.
Real good.
I mean, we could have literally opened with the clip where she said you need to take risk because the high risk stuff is what plays out. Mm-hmm. And if Bitcoin's going where we think it's going to be the best bet we've ever made. So we could have literally opened with that clip. But I think that hook captures the vibe.
I mean, I'm excited listening to that. I'm like, okay, all right. Yeah. So it's proven itself. Okay. I mean,
plus it opens with a pretty lady who's saying, I like when she was like, and I sold it. Yeah. I'm like, dang. So this pretty lady's a Bitcoiner.
Yeah.
I'm watching this.
Yeah.
But I live in my lizard brain. So
yeah,
I might be a good sample. I might be a bad. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
But what I liked about her was that she was an absolute boss lady, dude.
Yeah, she was.
She is proof positive that our beehive theory is correct.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you want Laurel running stuff for you?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I mean, I was driving down Glenwood Avenue the other day on my way, I think, to the airport for Vegas. What's on the left-hand side? Bassett Furniture.
Yeah.
Came in at 26 to be the CEO.
Yeah.
After 3 years, sold her piece of it and moved on. Freaking amazing, dude. What a boss lady.
Yeah.
That's like amazing.
Mhm.
Amazing.
Mhm.
And her face was like the face of a lady who has had to punch her way through a bunch of guys trying to take advantage of her in the business world, to where she just does not take your BS. You know what I mean? And she would like when it was time for her to listen to us talk, she'd just be like this.
Mhm.
You know, she's like
Yeah.
just waiting for us to say something dumb,
Yeah.
like every other guy who's tried to, you know, I don't know, be that person in the business world. And I loved it, man.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
But we're just two little, you know, we're just two little Bitcoin gentlemen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think we had a good time.
Marching along. It was a great episode.
What were your feelings?
What were my feelings?
Yeah. How you know, what stuck out to you, or how did you feel? What's your impression?
I mean, Laurel is successful. She's smart. And I wanted her to give Bitcoin a positive, you know, review.
How can you possibly think Bitcoin is a scam, or that Bitcoin is nerd money, or that, you know, Bitcoin is a boy's toy, when someone like Laurel drops on the podcast and is an absolute boss and is like, I'm a successful woman. I've done all sorts of business world things. CEO of a company, sold it. Marketing agency responsible for bringing Squishmallows to America, which cannot be understated. Now a venture capital fund. Like, she's not some nerdy source code dude,
Right.
you know? And she's not even like some chick in a hoodie, you know? Like, she is a boss lady, and she's on Bitcoin.
Yep.
So, you know, bringing people in like Laurel is going to help us flush more types of people into people's idea of what Bitcoin is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I loved her episode, and I loved that I was about to close out with this boost to my ego around having taken her from a place of using Bitcoin as a small diversifier to a place of yeeting more into Bitcoin. And you stopped the show. And you say, well, hang on, Laurel. Did Stuart actually inspire you to grow your position? And she said, no. I've been trying to smash more Bitcoin for a minute, and I'm just waiting for my husband to catch up.
Yeah.
Dude, amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. I mean, my story and your story is the same story as my story. We're both waiting for our spouses to let us smash more.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
In your case, maybe smash more. In my case, increase the dollar cost average. I want to buy more each week.
Yeah.
I want to go from 50 to 100. You know,
Yeah.
I want to go from 100 to 250.
Yeah.
You know, I basically want to look at the budget and determine the maximum sustainable amount.
Yeah.
And be buying that each week.
Yeah.
Through my automated recurring buy on Bitcoin. Well, holler at your boy. Adam is coming on the show. MJ, way to go.
Yeah.
So I feel like there must be an army of spouses who are waiting for their partners to catch up.
Yeah.
And I want to be there for them.
Yeah.
And I want Sat Chats to be a place where they can come and get some relief while they find ways to become, you know, to increase their patience, to figure out different scientific ways to orange pill, and to just keep fighting the fight. We're here with you, okay? If you are a husband or a wife and you are waiting for your husband or your wife to catch up to where you are, let us know in the comments, okay? We will wrap around you. We will bless you. We will hug you. We will support you, okay? This is a my spouse won't let me buy enough Bitcoin center as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So come on in here. All right.
If your spouse won't let you buy Bitcoin, Stuart's going to wrap his legs around you.
Whoa!
And just hold you tight and
Hold
tell
you
you
real
it's all
tight.
going to be okay.
Yeah. I will interlock as if you are a waifu pillow. Okay. I will come all in and we'll hold you close. Okay. Because I grew up in a touchy-feely family. My mom, my dad, hugs and kisses all around all the time. So I'll get all in there, dude. I'll smush on you. All right. And you know who else will smush on you? The first Satillionaire, Lucola Bang, dude. He'll come in there. And Lucola and I will make a Satillionaire smush sandwich with you. Okay.
Now, you can smush and Lucola will come by and just kiss you on the forehead.
He'll just kind of like one finger on the side of the neck and like, woo! Rizzful, dude. He and my boy Lion, they're the Rizzlers.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, we got Tom.
Tom.
Yeah, Tom
is the laser-eyed area man.
Yeah, we learned what an area man that's like from some parody newspaper where it's like area man, enters a relationship with a cat or so,
exactly
something like
area man, protests local development, or whatever. And it's not quite the level of Florida man, but it's like your local area dude did something.
Yeah. Just kind of like the dude around here.
Yeah. Florida man is like the Godzilla of area men.
Yeah. So he's a laser-eyed area man. He's also the owner of a advertising company called Agile that we use at Ithaca Hummus. And I just approved this week the final creative for, I think, about 7 trucks that are going to be going all around New York City.
What I loved about this episode is that he was asking he was kind of following up number 70 Ocean's question about a Bitcoin marketing problem with questions about a Bitcoin messaging problem. So is Bitcoin's message not good, or should it be rebranded or reworked? Because he talked about how, you take the term diet and then you turn it into like conscious eating or something.
Yeah.
Or you take the word cheap and you turn it into budget friendly.
Right.
Or you take the word old and you turn it into vintage.
Right.
And dude, man, I ripped that episode, man. Destroyed it. Because we were talking, we were kind of going down the lane of like, well, yeah, there's nobody there to change it, so who's going to change it? And what would you change it to? And I was like, Tom, I can fix Bitcoin's messaging and I can do it in one word. And I asked him what what do you think it is? And I think he said sats. And I was like, money. Bitcoin is money. And at the same time, you should take the US dollar and you should turn it into government token. And then I was like, dude, I feel like NBA Jam. Like I just like jumped from like the other side. Boom! You remember NBA Jam?
Yeah.
And like when you would like get on fire. Yeah. Because like if you like scored enough in a row without the other guy scoring, like the net would burn up and you're like, dude, we're on fire. Then you would get that and you would just immediately like Muggsy Bogues from the Charlotte Hornets.
Yes.
You could be on the far side of the court and you would just fly through the ooh. That's how I felt, dude. I feel like I was on fire.
I agree. It felt that way to me also.
Dude, rebranding the US dollar as nation state paper, that's a shout out to Nico. And Nico also gets that from other places. Like that's kind of a shout out to a traditional Bitcoiner way of reframing US dollars. But flipping it into government token like it's a cryptocurrency, to me, that is like devastation.
And that's all you.
That is devastation. Yeah, I don't think I'd ever heard. I mean, I think I've heard of people talk about like maybe like US coin or stuff like that, but I don't know if they've ever called it a token. I think that's just, I think that is like, it turns the most powerful nation state in the world. It turns their money into like an arcade coin.
Yeah.
That is only worth what it can get you inside the arcade.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like as soon as you walk out of the arcade, these little dumb coins don't work anywhere and they're no. God, I love it, dude.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite moments of Sat Chats to date. is that government token moment.
Oh,
And the dang show has 62 views. You know what I mean?
Man.
It's got one of my favorite moments in it of all time.
You know what would help that?
Tom sharing it on LinkedIn.
Yes.
And to be fair, Tom should be taking this thumbnail of himself and he should be slapping it on all unused truck space for the foreseeable future. You want to talk about share with your friends, email, if you want to really have them spray because are they digital ads?
No.
Okay, so you have to print it out.
Yeah.
I don't care. Print it out, Tom. Laser-eyed area man. You know, like, because you see billboards on the road where it's like your ad could be here.
Yeah.
He could slap that laser-eyed area man, which would fully get your attention, and then say, look, this could be your ad.
Yeah.
So put it on your trucks, Tom.
They're not his trucks, to be fair to Tom.
Let's flip into Allie, and then we'll see what Chappie has to say about all three. So I loved Allie's episode because he told us this story of being a little entrepreneurial dude from day one. I mean, he started off with his parents, first of all, got kicked out of Africa for being, I guess, Indian. I think Allie is from India. Like his parents might be from India. I don't know. His parents weren't African, but they were living in Africa. And some dictator dude, Idi Amin, I think, kicked him out of Uganda or somewhere.
Yeah.
So they came to America and they were working their butts off. And like, here goes Allie. I mean, he wants things, but his parents aren't going to give him any cash.
Canada or America?
I can't remember.
He might have been in Canada.
Might have been in Canada?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he had a paper route, which he said sucked.
He's like, this is not scalable.
Then he got into computers and he was like setting up his own computers. And people realized that he could troubleshoot their computers for them and like clean up viruses and then build custom computers for them. And then eventually he was like pirating material and he was burning it to DVDs and stuff. And I loved that part because that took me back to my early like tween and teen years when the internet, dude, creators must have had a hard time back then, dude, because we were not paying for nothing.
Yeah.
We weren't paying, but to be fair, we couldn't get our hands on it either. In today's world, everything's streaming everywhere. But like if you wanted a specific video game or a specific album or a specific movie, especially if you were like us and you liked Japanese anime, it simply wasn't able to be gotten.
Mm-hmm.
People don't realize that. You couldn't even find it. So being able to download it off the internet and burn it to a CD or DVD actually allowed you to enjoy that stuff. But we were pirates. Allie was a pirate. Spencer's Icelandic grandma was a pirate.
That's right.
Yeah. So I just loved that he set up a website with like Matrix style green text on a black background. I was like, let me know what you need, boo.
Yeah.
And he had so much local demand for content that he would burn a DVD and then he would go to sleep. And then when it would eject, he would wake up, put in the next DVD, start the burning again, go back to sleep. And he was burning through the day and the night.
Dang.
The dude was a cutlass.
Yeah.
And then he goes through and now he's got a venture capital fund with 8 figures worth to invest.
You say like 250 million?
Well, 8 figures would be at the 10 million to 99 million range. And I think he said 75 million was what he had.
Okay.
What he had, not what he personally had, but what he had like raised from
LPs.
Yeah. He and his brother Mansoor started with 6 figures of their own money. And now they're working with 8 that they're investing.
And then he was one of the judges on a show that's out on Amazon Prime now called Knights of Crypto.
Crypto Knights.
Crypto Knights.
Yes. Yeah.
Which kind of has like a...
Those crypto nights.
Oh, Greece.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, wow.
How could they possibly think those people look like teenagers?
Yeah, I know.
They got like stubble and shadows. Like,
yeah. Is that what teenagers used to look like?
I think so, man. Dude, you look at like yearbooks from the 50s. I'm like, these grown people.
Yeah.
These some grown people right here, dude.
Yes.
And I think we're looking younger and younger and younger over time because we're getting ready to live longer and longer and longer.
Really?
Yeah, I think Lion, he's going to look like a little baby face for well into his 30s. And he's hollering at us. I still do. That's what I'm saying. You look young, and I think you will look young.
Yeah.
But he's going to grow.
I hope so.
So, Crypto Nights.
Crypto Nights. Go check it out. Amazon Prime. It's like Shark Tank for crypto businesses.
It is. And I haven't watched it yet, but I do want to watch it. Even though I'm not interested in crypto, I want to watch it just to see what's going on. So let's see very quickly what Chappie has to say about all three of these, because she wrapped it up into a whole kind of flow for me. So overall vibe and flow, it's high energy. The friendly banter keeps things fun, but the very long intros delay the meat of the interview. She hates our introductions, dude. But here's my problem with Chaps. I asked her to help me with today's short stack. And she's like, the most memorable moment of this short stack is the very beginning of the show, where you're trying to say Sat Chat's short stacks and you don't get it right. And then you're talking about how we have too many crazy names for all this stuff. And basically it is a long intro full of banter and she loves it. But here over here, she's dinging us for it. Which one is it, girl? Do you like the fact that we have a friendly, chatty style, or do you not? Okay.
Well,
she's playing me hot. Then she's playing me cold.
Does she listen to rehashes?
Well, she digests the transcript
Of the rehash.
Yeah, to get this here. So
No. She doesn't digest the transcript of the rehash itself. Like right now, what you're saying, she's not going to hear, is she?
well, when we publish this, she will.
Oh, really?
Because she still has to help me with the thumbnail copy for the rehash.
Understood.
Along with the pinned comment and all that. So she digests everything.
Okay.
But the thing is like she'll praise us and ding us for the same dang thing. I'm like, girl, you jerking me around. But the very long intros, giveaway spiel, inside jokes, laser eyes gag. Are you really going to tell me that you don't want me to say to protect you and your loved ones from my laser eyes? Girl, you get me mad this morning. I wouldn't be mad if you were consistent, Chaps. Okay. I don't like when I'm getting jerked around. All right. You're feeling like a black box, girl. Pre-coiners may click away before the first useful fact. That hurts Chris. That hurts Chris. What we need to realize though, our Sat Chats is where we chat about Sats. Okay. And if it takes us a few minutes to get through all the things we're running and into the first useful fact, so be it.
I don't know, man.
Because the short stack is the direct educational topic focused element that you can hit if you're in that mood. If you're in the car and you want us to keep you company, let's chat about Sats. If you're like, dude, what is Bitcoin mining? 9 minutes, you're done. Do you know what I mean? Like, we got to give ourselves a break. Okay. If you're here and you're chatting about Sats, just give yourself a break. Chappie's not giving us no breaks. Great guests and stories. Great. And do you hear that? Stories. Great stories. She likes the stories. Great guests and stories.
When people get to them. when people muscle it out and get through.
But dude, what's the difference between 30 seconds to the first piece and 90 seconds to the first piece? Really?
Everything when it's a first impression.
I mean, like you and Chappie are going to want me to condense a 45-minute chat about Sats into the first second. If like 12 years from now, it's going to be like, you better tell me everything in the first 3 seconds or I'm gone.
No.
It's like, I can't get it all in.
No, it's not true. It's not true.
You know, and we got to help people lower the time preference.
So what is it, if you could distill down, what do you believe through all this feedback Chappie is directly trying to say to you? Or maybe ask her that. What is there like a tidbit of insight that you could say, she's definitely saying this? What would it be? Shorten the intro?
I don't know, because like you'll see that her feedback for us is to like cut down on tangents and cut down on analogies or metaphors, or to quit repeating ourselves. And she's basically, her overall feedback recently is like, turn your show into a scripted march through value for the pre-coiner so you don't ever lose them. And we don't have a scripted show.
Yeah.
It's a chat.
Yeah.
We're chatting.
Yeah.
Okay. But short stacks are more scripted.
Yeah, but how do you distinguish between a helpful story that we tell to illustrate a complex topic or a difficult point to make, and just a straight up tangent? How do we tell the difference between those two things?
Well,
because I agree with her point.
Yeah,
it's like nobody wants to hear us like spool off into 10 different directions and never like
for sure
hit the point.
But guess what? Number 36, Allie's tape was 90 minutes and it published at less than 54. Why? Because we went on some tangents.
Yeah.
And they're gone.
Yeah.
So what remains is a cogent march through useful information about Bitcoin, told in story and or Socratic format.
Yeah.
Okay. So this girl needs to get off my back.
No, but is she analyzing that 60-minute version or the 90-minute version?
She's only analyzing the transcript that is
published.
Congruent. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And sometimes she'll get feedback because I'll give her 3 episodes at once and she'll start to blend them incorrectly. Or like she talked about going on a 90-minute tangent with Michelle when the episode was only 50 some odd minutes. So I'm like, you gotta take it with a grain of salt. Okay. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm gonna start doing? I'm gonna start giving her feedback. I'm like, well, look, quite frankly, I think you could be a little bit more concise. Yeah. I think you could be a little bit more consistent. I think you could kind of focus a little bit more closely on the transcript because you're summarizing in a way that's starting to get a little loose, girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm about to start talking to Cheppy myself. But great. Here she says, great guests and stories give the show depth and credibility. Thank you. I appreciate that.
What about the hosts?
Occasional tangents like fitness brags and hummus ads stall momentum.
Fitness brags? Hummus ads?
Lady, we're sponsored by Ithaca Hummus. What do you want us to do? She hates how much time it takes us to get through the hummus. Every time she hates it.
I've been shortening that. It's like no time now.
Yeah, but there's value in discussing how it tastes and talking about where to get it for our sponsor.
Yeah.
Because our sponsor doesn't just want us to go, the sponsor's like, yo, take a second. Did it taste good? Have you ever had it before?
Where can people buy it?
Yes. Right?
Yeah.
Because we owe that to our sponsor to dwell on that a little bit.
Yep.
But she hates it.
Too bad.
Tighter editing would let the guests shine and keep Bitcoin front and center. I do think that eventually when we have like the Pearl Collective doing this, they could like I could take a 68-minute show down to 45, somewhere between 45 and 54. They could probably crank it into like 36 to 45. And I agree that there is, but the pace that we're going at, I'm just like, get rid of this, get rid of this, get rid of this, get rid of it, go, Demonstrably wrong, or at least technically off statements. Bitcoin doesn't care what time it is. The code never checks a clock. Number one, see, so we didn't say that. We never said the code never checks a clock. She's summarizing.
Yeah.
But she does say each block header does include a timestamp, and nodes enforce median time pass rules to keep miners honest. If the whole internet disappeared, Bitcoin would just pause and restart when it's back. We already have Blockstream, satellite, HF radio, LoRa mesh, and other paths. Global internet loss isn't a hard stop. I need to look into that. We need to make a short stack about like satellite internet. Only 21,000 nodes exist. We didn't say that, girl. We just said there's roughly 20 to 25,000 reachable nodes are visible at any moment, but total full nodes behind Tor or firewalls are widely estimated at 50,000 plus. That's interesting. And the fact that Simple Steve doesn't always have his node on. So it's actually more than 21,000. 2 nodes plus 1 miner is enough for a healthy network. Technically true, but extremely fragile. With only 1 miner, the network would grind to a halt the moment that miner went offline. Well, guess what? My BitAxe ain't never going offline. So everybody in the world, you can rely on me to continue mining the Bitcoin network if all else fails, okay? And we got a node here. So we just need 1 more node. Simple Steve's. And then she wants us to point out that we said Bitcoin nodes need any computer with enough storage. They also need about 2 gigabytes of RAM and persistent bandwidth. Pointing that out helps beginners spec hardware correctly. And we actually learned from number 74, Spencer, that it's best to have a computer with 16 gigs of RAM in today's world. So you want a computer with a terabyte of space and 16 gigs of RAM. Chappie's going to rehash and say, tech detour alert, road work ahead. All right. So I also tried this for you. Tell us what we could do to make it more accessible for pre-coiners. Add that in. Give us your feelings.
Yeah.
Give us what we said wrong and what the right answer is. And also tell us how we can make this better for pre-coiners. All right. You ready? Quick fixes, and I also said, hit the sweet spot of being Bitcoiner approved as well.
Nice.
Pre-coiner friendly, Bitcoiner approved.
Yes.
Quick fixes for pre-coiner accessibility while staying Bitcoiner approved. Front load the value. Give a 15 to 20 second preview of the guest's key insight before the trademark intro advert promos. We do that, lady. We literally do that. There's a hook. We heard Laurel's hook. It's a good hook. Why are you telling me this? Define jargon once and then reuse. For example, Lightning equals instant/cheap payments above Bitcoin, and later just say Lightning.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to define terms in each episode, though, if someone's coming in.
I would too.
But inside the same episode, we don't need to go back.
No. But the first time you use a term like Lightning in an episode, you say, man, by the way, for those who don't know, Lightning is an instant payment layer that sits on top of the Bitcoin network.
This one I fully disagree with.
Okay.
Fewer inside jokes /bro riffs. They're funny for return viewers, but can feel gatekeepy to newcomers. Here's the thing. I have to serve my returning viewers as well. So someone that doesn't get the inside joke is just going to keep listening if they're interested. But the person who's coming day after day, part of my focus is on the daily returning, or on my satillionaires, bro.
Is that the right focus?
Well, YouTube.
Are we the welcome center?
We are.
Or the clubhouse?
Well, we're both. Yeah.
No. Clubhouse
I got my whale lounge. When you come into the conference, I got my whale lounge as well. And like when I go to Disney, they're like, hey, this area is for DVC only. I'm like, well, what's DVC? They're like, well, it's this thing. I'm like, how do I get inside?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, then we need to create a thing that people have to get inside.
Like our membership area.
Not make it the welcome center is the welcome center.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be sitting around, with our feet up on the table trying to catch popcorn in our mouth and broing it up with the bros, because that's not very welcoming.
We're not broy though. We're not broy.
Chappie thinks we are.
Chappie doesn't know what she thinks. But also, like, there's the audience we want to serve, and then there's the audience that we currently have. And YouTube will recommend your video when you have found what your audience wants and you give it to them. So we want an audience of pre-coiners, but we currently have an audience of Bitcoiners. And we need to serve them because they're going to glom onto us and help us get where we're trying to go. You see what I mean?
Sort of.
We need to do all of it.
It's a fine line. It's a fine line, because if they encapsulate us, and then YouTube sees that and starts sending our content to more of them, then we just become codependent on that specific market.
That's one option, but they could also come around us and our army of satillionaires share with pre-coiners who will give us 30 seconds of their attention because it's coming from someone they know and love. They can help get us to pre-coiners as well.
I'm just wondering, like, what's actually the biggest opportunity for exponential growth in views and followers for Sat Chats? Is it word of mouth, one Bitcoiner telling 5 pre-coiners? Or is it YouTube seeing what we're trying to do, seeing that resonate with the right audience, and then them doing it?
Yeah, but it's that.
Yeah.
But they look at who's engaging with our content and see if they're engaging. And if they're engaging, then they'll recommend it to people like that person.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll recommend it to people tied to that person.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is I want what you want.
Mm-hmm.
You're in a place where you believe making that content will reach that person. I'm in a place where I believe making content for that person that pleases this person will get us here and then there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm working with the audience that we literally have. That's literally in the comments.
Yeah.
That's literally watching the live show.
Yeah.
Because I know that this waypoint will get us there.
Yeah.
You just want to fucking whoop.
Yes.
You know?
But I don't know.
The content needs to be for them, but it needs to go currently, it needs to go like that.
Yeah. But for the record, I don't know one way or the other what's the right way.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how to do that. How would you do that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah. We're YouTube babies.
Please help us.
But I'm going to keep saying nation state paper dad, period. And if you get my joke, great. If you don't, it's not going to hurt you. Swap out hype for how-tos. Instead of smash buy, she wants you to swap out smash buy. This girl's nuts. Instead of smash buy, show one concrete step like download MUN, buy $20, move to self-custody. Separate Bitcoin from crypto early. A one-liner such as Bitcoin. I mean, lady.
We have it.
Trim giveaway pitch to one line.
Okay, I've been working on that.
Move the rest to a lower third or end card so it doesn't overwhelm the educational content. We could get snappier on the beginning. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
We could be like, it's me, it's Chris, million sats, membership area,
That's
99
right.
Kristen. Here we go. Because a brand new person can just move over that, but a repeat viewer will know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And then add links in the description. Lady, I didn't even share the description with you. Why are you jumping on my boy Jeremy's description? You don't even know what you're talking about. Real quick, she felt like Laurel's episode. She loved the risk-tolerant spouse angle and the FOMO into DCA arc. Tom, she loved the area man learner narrative. But then she's getting mixed up with Allie's episode because she's talking about slushies and DVD nostalgia. It's like you're getting your wires crossed, girl. Allie was a strong ideological case for Bitcoin and the venture capital view. Good contrast between Bitcoin and penny stock altcoins. Bottom line, tighten, trim, and translate. Hit the key Bitcoin takeaway early, explain terms once, keep the humor, but cut the filler, and you'll hook far more pre-coiners without alienating hardened Bitcoiners.
It's good advice, man.
I don't know.
I like
have a
it.
resentment towards Chappie.
I know you do, but you got to work through that.
Like, okay, you do it, girl. All right.
No,
you
it's
do
not
it.
about that. It's not about that.
You tighten it up.
It's just about being open to feedback.
Yeah. I'm killing myself trying to pay YouTube each day.
He's
And
like,
she wants me to do even better. I'm like, girl, that takes a lot of time to like. The shorter you want it to be, the harder it is.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, all right, lady. You make a podcast, Chappie. All right, you make a podcast. She's like, I am part of this podcast. What do you mean?
I am making.
She's like, are you trying to say that you don't like the person who's trying to help you?
Yeah.
All right, so that was number. Let's see here. That was number 71, Laurel. Number 72, Tom, and number 73, Allie. Don't forget to smash the subscribe for your chance at the 10 million sats. We'll keep it real crisp for you, girl. Get them watch hours in for the membership area. Road to number 99, Kristen. If you know, you know. If not, whatever.
I guess too bad.
Yeah, too bad. Watch more episodes, I guess.
Ask ChatGPT.
Ask Chappie what we mean by all this junk.
Put it back on her, man.
God, lady. Sat Chats rehashes for educational purposes only and should not be construed as financial advice. We will see you tomorrow.